And I don't even expect much from these markets actually. But maybe, just maybe, would have a rally into Thursday's highs. I'm anticipating. I don't know. I honestly honestly don't know right now. Can't really say much since we are still dealing in this range right here. There's been no significant move. Yeah, it's just been a bread and butter type of move. Yeah, it comes here, gets here, it's not dropping, probably here. It's crazy. I think the reason why this is because throughout this week there's been significant moves made. I mean, we could look at what this week has done, right? I think I'm on the 1 minute. Let me go to the 1 hour. Okay, so here is it. So just look at what this day did. Monday we had a dip here on Monday. Same Monday we rallied into these levels. That's the 4th of April, Friday's high. We rallied into that. After that day, we just kept moving and moving, and we dropped back into Monday. We did not quite touch Monday's low, but then we dropped into the 9 o'clock on Monday, and then we rallied again on preparing the rallies for Wednesday from Tuesday, and we had a drop, more like a retracement into this fair value gap on Thursday, and then on Friday we're having a consolidation. Yeah, I can't just expect this day to just end in a consolidation, you know. I personally would want to see more than this because I'm not impressed with what I'm seeing. All right, let's let's possibly hope that 9 o'clock has something valuable for us. Well, in the meantime, I'm seeing that there's been a lot of conflictions with China and the US. Everyone's having this back and forth, and it's crazy. It's quite crazy, honestly. Okay, but then that sparks the thought process. For what reason, right? What is the reason? I think it's ego related, or it's something that will be beneficial for the people of America or for the people of China. Because if it's something that's beneficial to them, um, there should not be a whole lot of back and forth. That's why I said earlier that I feel like it's an ego related thing. Yeah. Because one is slamming here, the other one is slamming there. And then today I'm seeing China is having a retaliation with 125%. And it feels like a child's play. Like I think are these guys playing with us, you know? So I don't even know what's going on in the markets, honestly. And is this fear that really threatens your experience? If you're more of a trader that usually got moved by moves or the impulsiveness of the market, you must have busted or smoked your account. So I'm seeing here on Bloomberg that China caps tariffs on US at 125%, calls Trump levies a joke. Well, I don't know. So here's the thing, right? Gold has been at its all-time highs. Yeah. I think for the purpose of talking about gold right now, I have to do something to pacify my ego in a way. Okay, so I said I was not going to check any other pair, but then for this purpose, let me check gold. If we all remember, I think about 3 weeks ago, yeah, if not 4 weeks ago, I personally said, okay, I'm looking for the highs on gold. I had these levels marked out. And let me go to the daily, so it looks far-fetched. Okay, I had these levels marked out for gold, and I was like, okay, I would want to see gold. I want to see gold trade into the 3,200 levels, right? And then it was a whole long process. My thought process was, if gold breaks the low, the February 28th low, that's on Friday, that this whole setup is invalid, right? And then gold was spiraling, broke 3,100, had a high resistance liquidity, high resistance here, and then it came down to this fair value gap, right? And then we rallied. And the reason why we rallied was, if you can remember the minutes we had on Wednesday, we had an FOMC minute on Wednesday, and we had the auction, the bonds were doing an auction that Wednesday. So it rallied indefinitely, and I'm like, okay, that Tuesday touched the 3,100 levels. Yeah, and then we had Thursday retrace, and then but broke the high that engineered this sweep. Yeah, and then today we're having a breakthrough, and it gives me a lot of satisfaction, even though for some reason I did not engage on this trade, right? I just have that satisfaction that yes, okay, this has happened. Yeah, and it's much beautiful, honestly. Yeah, it's quite concerning that the dollar on the zone has been having a dip, right? And gold is spiraling and the dollar is dipping. And we know that gold is a commodity, right? Where investors possibly would say, okay, there's been a lot of war on the dollar. Do we pull out our investment from dollar firms or from the US firms and then pump it into gold, right? And then that's what we've been having basically. A lot of people are investing in gold at the moment and they're like, it's a much better investment. And they are thinking, okay, the poor investments that we would be doing would be keeping our monies in hedge funds in the US. And I do not know, it's bad for business. It's bad for business, but then Trump is it she or Z are having this back and forth with slapping each other with tariffs. Okay, maybe, but I don't wish for it, but maybe. It's a joke anyways. The XY would want to reach his all-time low. Well, then imagine if that happens, if we have the XY reaches all-time low. Everything's gone, literally. All the way from 2012, all gone. That can't be, never. They'll just want to send us home. Okay. Well, from I think the lowest that the XY has ever made was 2008. And that makes me very curious. What happened 2008? What happened 2008? And it was uh it was March that happened, you know. Since then, we've been spiraling. The US has been doing well. Its all-time high was actually 2022, right? Wow, that's good. I think Biden was the one that was there that time. I wonder what he did that made markets or hedge funds have that much of a growth. Okay, we just digress. So let's go back to XMP. Okay, for S&P at the moment, like I said, I have no bias and I don't even want to like stress it. But all I know is this market is gonna give a very, very clean move and beautiful entries. And I'm actually anticipating those entries right now. Not right now, but then today. Okay, so if for some reason a push downward, possibly breaking this low, that's the 445's low, yeah, and a retracement into a fair value gap, then I'm gonna be targeting this low. But if for some reason it's gonna be breaking the highs and targeting the Thursday's highs, I would love to see these highs broken aggressively, and then a retracement into that. I would love to long the pair. So it's um it's actually 50-50 tap a day. If this happens, this is what I'm gonna do. If that happens, this is what I'm gonna do, right? So yeah. Anyways, all right. So okay, we are at 9 o'clock right now. I'm excited. Is this piece that comes with 9 o'clock? It's like okay, it's as though the guys in the big markets are just running around right now. They're on their seats ready, and they're ready for us, the traders, ready to make sure that we don't make monies in the market. And I'm ready for them as well. Yeah, there's this movie that I have been on to. Yeah, name is Billions, and that movie has given me a lot of insight. Honestly, it's like how these headphones, these top guys, investment firms work. It's crazy. For a reason I don't know. I don't know. Well, I actually love to have real time experience on how they think. Possibly get to meet one of them to know their thought process on the market because these guys are opportunists, right? Every single opportunity, even though it brings or it there's a detriment somewhere, right? There's always going to be an investment in their mind. They want to invest, they want to put their monies in, and they're not even going in with little monies, right? I don't think in their world there's a thing like lot size. Yeah. Yeah.
What dropping to a point where you would need to add to your equity, right? So as to hold that position. If not, you get a margin call and then you get stopped out. So basically, I don't think they're just hedging their positions, if you will, right? So if they're saying they want to risk, let me say, maybe a million shares, $1 million on a particular stock, right? They just buy into it and then they hold it. And well, it's always cool because the way they're doing it is such that if the market is going against you, you could actually hedge those positions. That means instead of, because you were in a buy, right, you could actually sell into those positions and then it's covering up for those losses. And at the end of the day, if it plays out, then that gives you profit, right? I mean, like, it's a movie where I tend to watch that movie every now and then, and I'm even praying that because I think I'm still in season one. No, I'm in season two actually, but episode two. After risk management is another, yeah. So it's a very interesting movie. I think the what I'm looking at is just the ES as well, the US 500, okay? And if you're looking at the 4 hour, now if you're looking at the 4 hour, if you've seen where the opening of the week is, right? It's somewhere around here, right? So now the way we printed that weekly range already, now it's not a day where you would expect sales, right? Because it doesn't make sense for the market to change from this all that protraction to the upside and then just immediately it can happen, but I'm not expecting that. So I'm just trusting the idea that we have already established that low of the week, right? So anything I'm looking for is just buys, right? Because yesterday while we were I didn't think we didn't stream yesterday, so I was just looking for a cheap read where I would expect a retracement into 50% of this 4 hour imbalance, right? Which we had it. Now, if you see the way we were printing, right, the only logical level I would look to trade to is buy side. Okay. Now, if you're on the hourly chart, you would see very obvious buy side. So all this price action overnight, that's just low resistance, right? I would want to see maybe we dip down, maybe probably not in the entire sell side, maybe a little bit of then just aggressively run back into that range. So that's what I'm expecting. I think if you go to like I think this is the 1 hour, think of 15 minutes. If you go to the 15 minutes, you would really see that it's very obvious low resistance liquidity run. Okay. Now I'm not suggesting that we might likely run the entire range, but if we do something like that, that's very nice. But I'm expecting buys back up to 500. I think that's what I'm yes, 500. So that's the level I'm looking at for TD. So this initial drop lower is just setting that stage for a return back up. So I'm looking at maybe 10 a.m. If we don't get that reversal of those lows, because logically, if you want to trade a reversal from this price action now, you would aim for this lows first and see if we react from that point, right? So 10 a.m. is like the last line of defense for that reversal into an expansion. So that's what I'm actually watching for.
Yeah, that's right. And I actually would love to see that happen because in my mind I'm like I want this thought Wednesday's high to be taken, right? I want those highs to be cleared because the on the weekly, like I showed you, it has reacted, right? And we should be rallying, we should be buying and all. That's if there's no funny thing again by a Trump or something. Because you can't essentially at this moment trust the markets. Yeah. So if you would be placing your hopes for love longs, then you should put those things into consideration, you know. Well, like my colleague said, I would love to see these lows taken out first before the initial buy, right? Yeah. And if we want to be selling, I don't want to see much else because that's gonna be a change in trend, and that's very shady. Because we have already made that move, we've sold and sold and sold, and I at this point I need buys. I need a recovery of those losses. Yeah, I mean the economy should be doing well. It's not every time we should be having problems and systems. Yeah. Okay, let's see. We have some minutes until the equity opening. I think about 18 more minutes to the equity opening. Yeah, 18 more minutes. No, we're already in 9. I,
Oh yeah, I think. Can you hear me now? What's up, people? How you guys looking for loans?
don't tell me you're looking for shots.
Still trying to find out, but yeah, the buys of Wednesday was quite a shocker. To make it funny, Trump told people to buy on Truth Media, which was really, really funny. And to me, I'm like, yo, did you just give people signals right now? And not too long after he did that,
Yeah,
market was
yeah,
up.
exactly.
And what was funny was that we had hit 7% circuit breakers on Nasdaq, but they refused to close the market. I'm like, wow. So I think he's the fundamental now.
I guess so.
Yeah, I feel he's the fundamental right now because one of the things that baffles me actually currently in the market is what the dollar is doing. We're having serious buys on the what's it called? The bonds. Although yeah, like yesterday I was talking about holding GU into today, of which the target was delivered.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but to me I'm like the sells and the buys on bonds. They don't
Shady.
rhyme.
Exactly.
They don't rhyme. But I guess I'm really back to Nasdaq right now because I like how they are playing.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at the if you look at the daily time frame, did you switch to my screen? Is my screen showing? Oh, okay. I had to I had to be sure of that. So if you look at the daily time frame, you're gonna observe that we have a CB on the daily time frame, and we have the same CB on the S&P on the daily time frame. And you could observe that okay, we closed Thursday as a bearish day. We closed also on the S&P as a bearish day, which makes sense. But now I'm looking at how price traded into the CB on Nasdaq, and let's look at the 1 hour. So London session we rallied into that CB. S&P failed to do that. Okay, and then it's just it's giving me the kind of question of should I like sales right now? Because it's a kind of weakness that price is trying to show. That's how I feel about it. However, I don't hold any strong bias right now. I see we have news by 10 a.m. Consumer sentiment, prelim, yeah, consumer sentiment and inflation expectations. I don't know what those news. I'm still studying fundamentals, so I don't even know what those news are meant to me to anybody. We had called PPI. Okay, by the way, let me check this out. Let me share Forex Factory over here. So we had CPI today, and CPI came in lower as of 2.4% lower than the expected focus of 2.5 and actually the previous which was 2.8%. And we had core PPI, which is producers price index,
Yeah.
come in lower, which is actually agreeing with what was it, the CPI lower, because CPI is more like consumer price index. How they are they spending more? Are they purchasing more? And if they are beginning to purchase less, that means it could mean that things like interest rate is
It's
higher,
higher.
yeah, all those kind of stuffs are in the picture. Maybe they are no good jobs. I also saw that unemployment claims previous was 219, but this came in at 222, 223. But I
Crazy.
like, yeah, I like to see what NFP did. I just want to see what non-farm payroll for this month looked like again. So that's funny. Non-farm payroll employment change. That's interesting to see. So according to the boss statistics, before I keep talking, let me just ensure that my Nasdaq 1 hour chart is open here. All right, yeah. So um, Bureau of Labor Statistics, according to them, previous of non-farm payroll was 117K in measurement, and the forecast was 137K. But what actually came in was 228K.
Mm.
All right, and then which is an improvement. But as I said the other time during our meetings, that
Yeah.
non-farm payroll necessarily the way the central bank sees jobs, they
Mm.
don't really see it as a good or a bad thing. That's
Yeah,
not the
exactly. Yeah.
essence, because if people are getting more jobs, like if more jobs are coming in, that means that you could start to expect that people will start spending more. There'll be more spending in the economy.
Yeah.
But to see that non-farm payroll came up the way it did and CPI came out lower, it's kind of saying that it doesn't fully agree with that data. And
Mhm.
then the employment rate came in lower at 4.2%,
Okay.
which is another thing to look at. So the PPI, it's not that much of a big difference necessarily. The month over month is 0.4. Okay, yeah, that's a big difference from 0.1 minus 0.4. So cost in production, it has reduced. The increase is a plus, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay, seems to be agreeing. So let's see how the fundamentals play out over time. But the dollar is sure not telling you that that's the case. The bonds is showing the good news of all of this,
Yeah.
like by rallying. Because if you look at, where is it? If you look at the bonds, you see we've been having a steady rally on the daily time frame. It's not even anything of an hourly time frame. We're having a steady rally on the daily time frame. And treasury notes is dropping lower. And surprisingly, our good old daddy dollar is dropping lower. And I know everyone is going to say it's because of the claims of China finally slapping US with 125% tariffs
Yeah.
as well. So it's all news. I can't really picture out why they're really sinking dollar the way it is. I don't think it's a good thing though.
I don't feel like it's a good thing.
I feel it's well, I'm not really interested in forex at the time being. Levels for GBP had been met already. I couldn't get it on EU. I could not get it on EU, so I'm back to focusing on the indices.
Right. All right. So that's true actually. I honestly do not know why the market is acting the way it's acting, right? It's quite a very funny period. Because how are the bonds buying and then GXY is dropping? All right. This week it has been a week actually, and I'm taking everything all in. Okay. Oh, just observing, and and we're actually anticipating what would happen next, right? On the sidelines, as I always say. Okay. So like we are close to breaking this low on the 5 minute for SPX. Let's see how that would go. We break that low.
You're really looking
Maybe.
for higher prices.
Myself?
Mm-hmm.
Uh I'm 50-50 on this one. I'm like, if this happens, this is what I'd love to see. Right. That type of 50-50. Not with a very solid bias. I'm just being very flexible. Because I'd love to see some things happen before it all takes place. Okay.
Yeah. Pity, 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 pity.
Well, I didn't want to take a look at the foreign currencies, right? Because the reason why I'm taking my attention to the foreign currencies now, that's the GBP USD and the Euro USD, is the fact that I was expecting a situation where
Your attention is coming when I was leaving.
no, I'm just interested
I
in
get it.
because
I was just saying.
because even when I was in class, right, I was expecting that continuation from the London highs, but now with that PPI coming out, so everything just changed to the fact that it's not likely that you might see that drop lower anymore, right?
Yeah.
So what I was doing was I was trying to compare the lows, right? The lows from I think 7 o'clock and then from I think 6 o'clock. So
Okay.
it's a bit stronger on GBP USD. Right?
And he already started that rally,
Yeah,
like seriously.
yeah. So, but I didn't really like the idea of
The buy,
buying
right?
here today,
Yeah.
because if you're looking at how we're coming from previous
You mean
days,
buying
right?
today?
Yeah, buys on the
Okay.
euro. The way we're coming from those lows, to me, I don't really like the idea that we might keep expanding. But if you compare what the dollar is doing, it doesn't just want to reverse from that point, so it just keeps dropping.
Yeah.
So if if I was to take any trade today on, probably someone's pointing me a gun, say you must take a trade today, right, on the euro,
Yeah.
I would just go with buys because I mean you just have to trade with the trend, right? The trend, the trend is your friend, but in most cases. But funny how you can just get on a buy now and then the whole thing now wants to be bearish, right? So those are the things that that usually happen.
Yeah.
But the better price action for me will be these indices, right? That one I just have just one-sided bias if it is going up
Yeah.
or I'm not touching it. Okay. I think we still have like 4 minutes to the embargo lift. I think that's what that's what
Embargo, it's equity
okay,
open, bro.
okay, that's like 8:30, right?
Embargo news is the 8:30.
Okay, the 8:30. Okay,
Yeah.
it has already
Yeah, we've
okay,
already
this
done
just
that.
equities.
So this is
open.
just equity open we're looking
Yeah.
for.
I think we are below the 8:30 and then midnight. So everything
I was
is
like embargo.
everything
I'm
looks
just gonna close my screen.
everything
That's
looks
okay.
cheap right now.
Oh, okay.
Like in the sense of if I was hedging positions, right? I'll just go ahead and just buy it right away.
Yeah, for me, I couldn't get in on the longs on EU
Yeah.
because I wasn't really expecting it. But what I later did was I was like, okay, G was kind of the 60 stuff. So I did get in on her, and the plan was just to see if we could rally into where we are right now. I think that was,
But this do you think would continue? Because if you're looking at what the R, it's very strong to the upside.
yeah, even the daily, but personally speaking, I'm okay.
But the fact that it's Friday, right? It doesn't.
Yeah. No, if you bought in London, it had a nice buy London session as a
Well,
continuation.
But how about joining now from this?
No, bro.
Doesn't make sense, right?
Don't, don't.
Because you might just consolidate.
It might hold you there, and then we might have a pullback. or it
Right.
might just continue.
Continue.
But it's so expensive right now to want to buy.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, you're right. Like we are both it's very expensive to
Yeah.
buy. But the structure just looks really nice for continuation,
It's
right?
a nice swing. I know a lady holding for 1.2.
1.2.
Yeah. And
1.2.
she's been swinging it since
I don't understand. Like, is it one
on
point?
EU 1.2 thousand. Was it 20,000?
1.1? I don't get it too, because it's quite far away from here.
Yeah, she's been
Okay,
holding,
1.2.
yeah, 1.2.
That's
She's been holding it since February.
like 544 pips. So.
She's been holding it since February,
Since
just
February.
taking partials.
Okay.
And the crazy long swing.
Maybe I'll just go ahead and join her. Now.
You're joining on the
And
wrong
join
place.
her. Well, it won't hurt to join her.
Yeah,
You
don't
never
think
know.
about it. Well, I mean, it's your decision. If you can risk having an entire week come back down on you because Trump decides to release the tariff from China.
But let's look at something now. If you've seen the way this euro is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if I was trading this, right? Because my trades are usually in New York,
Yeah.
then we had this opposing run from 7:30,
Mm-hmm.
and then we closed above it. So anything from this point are buys for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm holding it like a short-term trade.
Okay.
So basically, I'm buying right at maybe a little bit of trade because the risk to reward doesn't really make sense as such. I would expect a little maybe pull a retracement to then buy with my stop loss here. Then I could see if it offers. But if you're looking at how we expanded already from London, that
Yeah.
production was a lot. So this just looked like a continuation from that overnight
Okay.
run from London, right?
But maybe that would have been a better buy, like around 8-7.
Yes, around that
Yeah.
6 o'clock time, right? That would be a buy from
Yeah.
that point.
Like the pullback we had 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been a better buy because like where it is right now, we literally could just do an immediate rebalance.
Remember, yes.
7 a.m. high, consolidates, create an expansion Monday, or we come sweep those lows of
Yeah.
6, then continue higher Monday.
Higher.
So a lot of things are possible. And also, one of the reasons why I wanted holding that GU into today was because I purposely did not even want to have to think of picking a trade today.
Yes.
Yeah, some trades are better held, yeah, than trying to re-enter. Like that's how I see it personally. It's just my preference. So we have equity open here. We have equity open.
Okay.
All right.
What's going on? Okay. Well, the fact that we are not hitting any lows, right? I think we just have to wait longer than you should be waiting, right?
Yeah,
I mean, we've
I'm looking
not,
out for that 10 a.m. news. That's
yeah,
what
we've
my eyes
not
are.
engaged in it.
Yeah.
So this would be like trading away from failure swings, which
It's not a proper low to buy.
yeah.
It's
So I
not a
still expect
proper low.
maybe significant lows like this to be taken, right? Yeah.
It's not a proper low to buy. Personally, one of the things I'm even thinking is 10 a.m. has one Judas swing buy, and then we reject the highs of 6 a.m., possibly 8 a.m., and drop it down to Tuesdays. So just my thoughts. Just my thoughts. But we'll see. Sometimes it's preferable to see what price is doing than try to predict
Try to
and hold
predict
on
it,
to your
exactly.
prediction because you cause yourself more harm than good doing that.
I think probably if you're even getting a setup today, it's gonna be from late 10 a.m., right? Because
10.
you don't expect to start a whole
Nah,
new start.
they won't give it to us. They want to play with us.
Yeah, if you want to be a scalper, these are very obvious shots now on the 5 minutes. So you just sell it, and there you go.
I don't want to scalp today. I don't
You're
want
not
to
scalping
It
today.
doesn't the
This
deal
one is
with
just an
Friday.
obvious run to that liquidity.
1 minute.
I think ICT will be taking something like he likes this kind of trades where he just runs from fear to liquidity rather than getting it out.
He has the juice. I don't.
And he's looking at it on the one,
On
on
the
the
one,
one
yeah.
second. That's fine.
I think he has multiple screens he's looking at, right? But
Sometimes
What-
it's just one laptop.
what
This
he's
is one
what,
laptop.
but then he projects to show
No, no, no. I've watched him on stream
On stream.
sit on his bed, like he was saying he was on his bed
Yeah.
and streaming from one laptop, and he had the guts to be on a 15 seconds chat. I'm like, that's
I think maybe most times going out to the 15. I think his 15 minutes is like the higher time
15
frame.
seconds.
I said 15 seconds, bro.
I'm talking about his higher time frame.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, his
Yeah.
higher time frame is 15 minutes. He loves the 15 minutes.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, like from because
Yeah.
what he's looking for, he's just looking for maybe sell side, right? Like
Yeah.
that. Like if you're on Nasdaq, he's just looking for 18,174, and then all the way is on the 1 minute, and then he's selling fair value gaps
Yeah.
into that drop. I
Mhm.
think this is a very nice scalp.
Oh, I'm just curious about what daily levels we trade into and what we do from those daily levels. That's all.
For my anticipation would be this low.
Obviously,
Yeah, just this low.
You might even drag up to this low.
Yeah, that's the thing actually. Possibly this low.
Kind of scalp down. Like it makes more sense if you're trading maybe a futures account. Then you know that you're getting more points from maybe using 1 micro or using 1 minute.
Well, you just leverage the hell out of CFDs.
Well, actually, that was a perfect entry. I must say.
You got in on yourself.
No, I didn't get in. I said I'm not scalping today.
Oh, you're also looking for daily range.
Yes.
Thank God it's Friday. You don't want to give it all back.
You know, I saw this meme where you're like, you've made profit the whole week. You now lose everything on Friday.
Bro, your weekend has to be in a hotel at Bahamas with ice blocks all around you.
If you're losing everything you made for that week, right on Friday, I think it makes sense because there are yeah, no, because there are people that lose the entire account on Friday.
Ouch.
Yes, it happens. It still happens.
I wouldn't want. It's like you telling me, "Do you want to die hanging or being burnt?" I don't want any of them.
These are,
They're
these
both
are,
painful.
these
They're
are,
both
these
painful.
are- like you. Why do you go use that kind of one? Like it doesn't. Like I even think about it. It doesn't. It doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Okay. S&P, what are you really gonna do? What is Nasdaq doing? I'm not looking at Nasdaq. You guys are.
Yeah, Nasdaq. I was trying to observe if it was okay. Nasdaq is doing the exact same thing S&P is doing, only that it has a smaller 1 hour candle.
Okay.
So yeah, what were you hearing?
Okay, we have another one. I thought it was
We have-
just PPI. We had.
No, I was talking about old PPI news.
Okay.
Yeah, but we actually have a 10 a.m. news
Yeah.
today.
I think the market will just wait for that one and
It's
then it-
holding.
yeah.
Well, we seem to be in a holding pattern right now.
Now this whole stuff look like nothing is going on, but immediately you press maybe buy or sell. You now start getting
Something
you start
becomes
getting a
clear.
feel of what the market is doing. Yes.
Something becomes clear.
Well, whatever it does today, I'm not really on indices. I'm not really now. The only time I'm interested in this British pound, Australian dollar, because I like this. I've been
The
enjoying
swings,
this,
the swings I was waiting for came in, and I'm done. They all said hi.
Actually, you guys have been talking about AU and sorry, EU and GU.
Mm.
What's up with AU? Why are you leaving that one?
I don't like Australia. It's a personal grief.
I don't know. Once everyone talks about GU and EU, no one really wants to trade EU.
I mean, once I used to look at USD then I got the spreads on some brokers are just annoying.
You know, if you're looking at AU, okay, you're not going to expect the Aussie, like the AUD USD, to move the exact same way the GBP and British pound are moving. Because if you're looking to correlate those markets, you're correlating it with dollar.
Yeah, AUD
Because,
is with the
yeah,
New
if you're
Zealand
looking at
dollar.
the a bit similar, that's NZD USD and AUD USD. So you're not going to be trading AUD USD the exact same way you're trading euro and
Yeah.
cable, because they're not moving the exact same way. It's different.
Yeah, they normally overall move trend wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the timing,
The
the,
timing
though I've
is
noticed
different.
one thing about them is that because there was a time I was like AUD, USD, USD CHF,
Yeah.
EU and GU. But if the XY is like buying, then I do whatever inverted thing I want to do on all of
On
them
all of
at the
them.
exact same time. But you have to be particular about stop loss placements.
Placement.
Yeah. Because like one of those times I backtested, I noticed that USD CHF had CPI that day. Like CHF had CPI that day. And it held.
Yeah.
It held. Now dollar was buying, buying, buying. USD CHF was consolidating. And then the next thing CPI came and it just pumped up. I'm like, okay.
Because the way I used to see it is, if you're looking for inverse, that means direct correlation between the dollar and the foreign currency, like the
Yeah.
EU and the majors, I mean.
Mhm.
Okay. It has that direct correlation with the dollar, because if the dollar is selling, you should expect GU and EU to buy, right?
Yeah.
But there are most cases where the dollar is bullish, right? That means you expect maybe the foreign currencies to be selling. But at that same point, you're having the Australian dollar and then the New Zealand dollar selling as well.
Yeah.
So it's not,
It's not always the
I think it
same.
may be a secondary correlation or something.
Yeah, it's not always the same. Because
Just like maybe you're looking at Bitcoin, right?
yeah,
Because if the dollar is buying, you're saying that, okay, that the Bitcoin, it's not always the case. So it's a secondary correlation.
it's cool.
You know, I just peeped at the indices now, and it's now looking like it's time. Okay, this is the 1 minute. Yes, sorry. I mean, like, just think about, if you're not looking at the time frames and then you just go ahead and want to hold for entire daily range. Right? It's very obvious that indices today are likely going to be bullish, because on my own side, the
I
stocks
don't
that
feel okay with it. I don't
like
know
it's definitely
why.
going to be bullish. Obviously, it's going to be, but
Well,
the fact that
then-
it's leaving these failure swings, yeah, right? I don't really. It could hold, because if you're looking at the daily candle, that's more kind of a textbook. Okay, we have another block, we return to it, right? And we should expect expansion of it. So that's
I
what.
don't know if it's a thing of greed for me, but I kind of want new week opening gaps. I kind of want that TGI Friday that dumps.
It's greed. It's greed.
You're looking at TGI on indices.
No, it's not like the TGIF setup. I'm just like TGIF for me
For
is
me, it's always
dump to new
dump,
week
new week.
opening gap. Like I just want a drop. I
Because
feel the entire expansion that Trump gave people free money
free
on
money, right?
is just
Because me, I think that
outrageous.
for me to now want to say, okay, yes, I'm doing TGI, it has to meet some criteria
No, I'm not looking at the TGIF setup.
set up, right?
Yeah, I'm just like using the tag TGIF. I'm like, for me, my TGIF today is just so.
Okay.
Because TGIF necessarily is looking at the entire expansion of the
Expansion,
week.
right?
So, like, we have currently the weekly charts here. Oh, I'm sure my chart is the one on stream. Right? Was it or was it not?
I think
okay.
it was Eric's.
Anyways, so like we've had an expansion into the highs, and TGF is necessarily looking at the entire range from high to low, and then trying to observe would Friday pull back into like 25% of the range to 30% of the range. Right now, if we're even talking about that kind of a thing, let me switch this up to reverse. And give me a moment, good people. Okay, so right now we are below 25%. So I got no business with CGF dropping into 25% because we've already dropped all the way from those highs. Yeah, the highs that we made on the week. So necessarily what's in my mind now is okay. Do we hold the 25% level by resistance, like that area forms resistance to price?
Yeah.
If we could hold that as resistance, then best case scenario for me is that I love it to take out Tuesday's low.
Okay.
Right? Like I said Tuesday, Thursday's low.
Thursday's low.
Damn, I measured this. I, I labeled this
Thursday's
wrong.
low,
Yeah,
actually.
Thursday's low. Thursday's low. Best case scenario in my opinion.
Yeah.
However, if we're gonna buy, there's a lot of things price has to do to convince me of that. Yeah, one of them would be having a strong bullish close with an hourly candle, possibly retesting the CB we have on the daily, and then maybe New York launch hour, 12 p.m. We find support there and rally into the highs of Thursday.
Thursday.
That is something that would be a very annoying kind of setup to me. That's something that's gonna be a very annoying kind of setup to me. So I'm personally I'm just waiting for more information. I want to see weakness on one of these pairs. Currently, they're not really showing it to me. S&P is showing a kind of weakness in the sense that when you look at the daily time frame, we had S&P fail to trade into the exact same fair value gap or inefficiency or CB, whatever ICT level you are as a trader. And we had S&P fail to do that, but we had Nasdaq trade into the lower portion of it and then reject it. Yeah. So now that means that we're going to sell because the lower time frames have to now give you those certain confirmations of this is the likely thing I'm going to do. But if they're not telling you that, then it just means you want to wait for more information. Yeah. So where I am right now is just wait for more information. Wait for more information.
I think the stocks to me are just already confirming buys on this. Right?
Stocks,
Yeah.
they're all rallying.
Stocks are rallying.
Well,
like,
let me
up.
check the heat map. Let's see where we go.
There was this challenge I was on. It's called the Stock Titans Challenge, right?
Oh yeah, I
So
remember you. did that.
basically,
How
they
did
give
go?
you like a 10K paper account, right?
Oh, okay.
So what you're seeing is the person with the highest equity, right? So I'm
Mm.
seeing some people doing like 400 grand on the 10K.
Oh,
It started on Monday, so people are already making like 400%, right? 4,000%. You get me? Me, I'm still struggling with trying to make 3K, 4K on a day, right? Because
sometimes I feel those things are gained, like the people know what they are doing on the back
exactly
end. Yeah,
because
I really don't give. Well, the stock. If you look at the heat map, like
Oh.
check Google Meet, you see the heat map. Like I'm sharing it right now.
okay.
It's not very interesting currently. It's not very interesting in my opinion. Like not everybody's happy greens, not everybody's happy blues. Oh, sorry, reds. So we have Microsoft being on plus. Are you seeing it?
I'm not seeing it.
Are you on Google Meet?
Okay, I need to join, right?
Yeah. That's the only way you're gonna. Oh, except you're checking it from YouTube. Are you seeing it? Okay. So the only thing here that has, okay, Nvidia and Algo both have like 2%
Yeah.
increase.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we have Google at 1.6. Meta has never been a good thing to invest in. Microsoft 0.7, Apple 0.3. So this grayed out. This heavily bullish. Oracle is down 1.65%.
Because I'm always interested in like the Apple or Tesla, and this one's
Yeah.
actually.
I'm
getting
looking for
some-
Tesla right now. Apple is still great. It's not really giving any heavy indication.
But I'm seeing like two already
On Apple? No, that's Nvidia.
on Tesla. I'm seeing Tesla.
Where's Tesla?
Tesla is no, not on the heat map. I'm
Oh,
trying
okay,
to
because
assess-
that I was looking for. I think it's gonna be in what's it called? Not transportation. Not service producer marketing.
Looking at all this, everything is down bad.
Not necessarily some are recovering.
Some are recovering, but then this is crazy.
Well, as I said,
Did I just join wrong Google Meet? Is it not this one?
what? No, you want to check or check the Telegram group. Use the Telegram group.
How is Google still up?
Google,
Yeah, Tesla is up as well.
are you seeing Tesla on my heat map?
Yeah.
I can't see the Tesla.
Tesla is there. Google is there.
Why are my eyes not
Netflix.
seeing Tesla?
Netflix is also there.
For real, you saw Tesla. Where did you say?
Tesla is right there. It's under Exxon. Under Exxon.
Exxon.
Yeah, Tesla is under Exxon.
Oh, wow. Consumer durables. 2.2%. Okay, Tesla is up. Apple is not up 0.6%.
Ah, bad.
Not bad. All these could be false moves. I'm not interested in longing now. I've already explained the conditions I would like to see longs. And as I've said, I will not like them. Am I clear online? I will not like them. If that's what it turns out to be, then so be it. JP Morgan is up 3.61%.
JP Morgan.
Yeah.
Let me check it
Coco,
out.
Coco, I think your buys are really having some fun.
I bought right at
You bought?
940, yes. I bought
Goodness.
So I think I'm floating around 2K, 3K.
Wow.
It's just a challenge actually. Right? The only interest I had was this British pound. Wow, it's good.
I really don't like all those kind of accounts. Like if I'm not trading my life account, I don't like touching.
You know when we were
price.
really into that stuff back in the day?
Bro,
Every month we just
bro,
anticipating.
every new challenge that came in, we were there. What's this? Oh, okay. Text him asking me why I'm quiet. I'm looking at the marketplace. I'm trying to think.
You know that moment when you see something and then you're like, I have to get my thought process ready for
Yeah, I
this.
need to arrange it, because rather than jump into a market, I'd rather just stay out and have my peace of mind. I mean, I'm gonna go home happy.
You know, we are both expecting the US 500 and then the US 100 to clear these lows, right?
We
Probably
both.
maybe,
Oh, you're in agreement with that with me?
yeah, I still like the idea that we might take out one of these lows. I'm not expecting all those lows, right? Because that's just building what the idea that we are trading higher, but I could have preferred that we take out maybe at least a particular low. So I'm trying to check what the Dow is doing because maybe the Dow has
Okay.
taken that out. Though I'm not sure because the way we are trading, we are still what in a consolidation.
Yeah.
Except maybe we're breaking out of this consolidation, which is not something you would want to trade today again. It's possible to just have a run into that buy side and then that's it for today, right?
Yeah.
But the idea that we're just leaving this failure swing, it doesn't really make sense to me.
I
It doesn't.
personally know I don't like those buys.
But if you see what the stocks are doing, like the stocks are very
Yeah, the heat map is making them look like everyone is up. These guys are wicked. What's WMT? What company is that? Walmart.
Walmart.
Yeah, Walmart is up 0.90%. So your Tesla is now down minus 0.30%.
Wait, so soon?
JP Morgan is down 2.8.
What
Okay.
are these guys doing? What's happening?
Yeah,
I did that
told-
fast.
I told you. I told you relax. Relax, those boys are not nice. They're not nice. They are not friendly. They are not our friends. They didn't make the market for us to be rich.
Well,
It was actually to take from us. So, but nothing yet in price for me. Nothing yet
nothing in
wise.
price for me
No
as well.
sells, no buys, nothing.
it's just consolidating around this. I don't like this range. I'm sick of it. How is Apple moving this way?
You guys got Apple on your chart?
No, he's got Apple on his chart.
Oh, okay. Let me see what they're doing. It's looking steady. Okay, it just added a 10% points, 10% gain.
That's why I really agree with the idea of indecision bullish today, right? Because we already having the stocks market already showing and we're likely to be bullish, right? But the fact that we are trading away from failure swings, right? I
Yeah.
mean, if you're an intraday trader trading the indices, you don't want to trade from stuff like that.
8:30 high is fine. The 15 minutes high for Nasdaq.
For that,
Yeah, that's fine for me. And then possibly if it wants, though I would not like it. 6:35
yeah.
high. Same thing for S&P. It's not like I'm in any of those trades because I wasn't interested in looking at the 1 minute to scalp today. That was just it. I wasn't interested in looking at it to scalp. I try not to seek scalps on Fridays like that. I try to just see, can I capture the main move, if there is any, because that would mean that there is still like volatility in the market. Yeah. Okay, this is looking good so far. I mean your buys.
Okay, on up right.
No, I mean like I'm not looking at Apple, I'm just looking at Nasdaq moving. So I guess who are the key drivers of these longs? Nvidia, Apple, JP Morgan, Google. Yeah, Microsoft now. But the key drivers would be this Algo, Broadcom, JP Morgan, Nvidia, and Google are actually the key drivers. But Broadcom and JP Morgan are really holding it like strong. Oh, AMD. I didn't even see the baby lying down there.
AMD
Yeah, a whole 6%
already.
already. Yeah, a whole 6%. That's interesting. I think that's the highest driver today for those longs.
I just think it's more likely to hold bullish, right? I
Ah.
mean, like it's more because you were looking at the structure on the 4 hour and Apple, the same structure you're getting on indices too, right? But it's just that the indices has a funny way of doing things, right?
Yeah,
You could have a situation whereby you went buys and then all of a sudden it's
it's on you. It's the
all
other
of
way
a
around.
sudden you see like because I remember there was this day. Okay, I was on. I think I was with Eric then, right?
Okay.
I traded the indices short.
Oh,
Because he was also on the sales as well, but then he was just scalping to a point. So
Yeah.
when he took partials, because the idea was I was looking to hold the entire daily range.
yeah.
So and the whole thing just reversed on me. So at
Yeah.
that point, I didn't know if I was to close my position or if I was to just let it. I just allowed it to get to stop loss. Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously these are like failure swings and it doesn't make sense. Now the only way you can trade away from these failure swings, right, is on the Nasdaq. If you're on the 15 minutes, right, that means you're marking out the failure swing at I think the 680 candle. Then you're
Okay.
also marking out the 430 as well. So
Yeah.
if you want to trade that true breakout, okay, you just
Mhm.
allow it break out and then create an opposing candle
Oh,
and then a closure. Then you can now take that entry to buy side liquidity, right? So that's the only way I could trade something like that. Other than that, I would just
You're not interested.
watch how it trades.
we have news people in 3 minutes 20 seconds, 15 seconds as a matter of fact.
11 seconds, 10 seconds now.
Apple is back to 0.86. Microsoft is holding at 1. Google is holding at 2.2. Nvidia 2.3. Broadcom 4.2. JP Morgan 3.1. Netflix 2.3. I hate that platform.
I heard you mention something about Algo some time ago. I'm like, what's happening?
Who?
You said something. I think you're checking the heat map, and I heard you say
Half Go. Yeah, it's called Broadcom.
Did you say
AV.
Algo or?
No, Half Go.
Oh, okay. I'm relaxed right now.
Algo care.
I was like, when did my go up the market?
Eric the algo is trading on the 100.
Oh
So I
well.
was looking at the top S&P 500 index. I don't know if I could switch this to the 100. I would like to see what the 100 looks like. Well, I'll just keep it on the 500. Um, Brussels. No, let's see. Let me see what the 100 looks like real quick. So for Nasdaq, we have Broadcom holding, we have AMD, we have Nvidia, we have Google. Yeah, Meta is down. We have Netflix also. And what's this? MicroStrategy. What company is that? Yeah. Okay, they engage in provision of enterprise analytics and mobility software. Defend designs, develop markets, and sell software platforms through licensing agreements and cloud-based subscriptions and related services. Well, there are companies that do exist. It's headquartered. Ah, man. Tech team, can you cut out that part? I did that. Okay, company was founded by Michael J. Thello and an Indian, Sanjay K. Bansal. Okay. Number of employees 1.53K. Wow. Wow.
1 point.
53K.
That's alarming.
Okay, so but I'm gonna keep my heat map on the US 500 on the 500. I'll wanna ease myself. Tick,
All right. So at this point, I'm just still hoping on this. When I say hope, hope feels like a strong word.
I'll be back after the news, like 2 minutes.
Wait, let's see what the news is gonna do. We have like some seconds now.
Honestly, I think the news might just take this thing higher because you're looking at the Dow. The Dow actually ran
It's
that
here.
not by much, but just a little bit. Right? So I
Is
think it's
that
going to be
post?
like a 10 a.m. What the hell is this? What's going on? But it's likely to be.
It's likely, but that's
Because if you're waiting for maybe SMC, we already have that. So this is the higher high one. So let's see if it runs to that point. Because I'm just expecting maybe if we act for the some change upper to around
yeah. Man, if there's actually nothing that the news did. I mean, maybe it's because I'm looking at it on the 15 minutes, but then on the 1 hour, nothing as well, honestly. Nothing as well. Because what is this?
continuation and
Yeah, it feels like a continuation high.
where this becomes SMC.
Yeah.
Because the gap already took the
I think I'm curious to see what Dow Jones did.
yeah, it took out the low.
Took out the low.
Yeah.
Let me see for myself. With this move on 1 minute, I know it took out the low. Okay, it did take out the low.
Well, that could
That could be a run up higher, maybe.
but the structure is not just clean too.
I don't like the structure. I wouldn't even want to engage on the longs right
It's
now.
not even doing this long right now. I think it might just keep dancing around and then you have that late rally to the upside or downside, however it wants to be.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see what actually happens, and let me get back to S&P. Isn't this funny, guys?
Hey, 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 what's going on?
Nothing actually.
Oh, I mean, did we just lose all those gains? Okay, so
What
JP
happened?
Morgan 1.8, Nvidia 1.9. Who else was holding us up? AMD is now 5.
I think I have to go
Broadcom is
study.
still 3.6.
Yeah.
Google is 1.2. Netflix down 1.4. Oracle has gone -2. Okay. So yeah, so what? Ooh, ooh la la.
What's Apple doing right now?
I'm gonna find out after looking at this.
For some reason, I'm beginning to look at that, take a liking into what Apple is doing.
Okay, have fun, bro.
It just gives you that set of way you build trust where
Not really. If I'm going to that market, I'm going to spite them.
pricing, right?
They did something to me some time ago.
You've traded Apple before?
No. One of their, I was not impressed with one of their products. So yeah.
Okay. That won't turn out well. Okay, so yeah.
Mm. Yeah, exactly. Well. S&P, nothing. S&P will just tell you guys today, nothing for you.
Yo. Okay, so what's this? To be frank, nothing makes sense, but
No, we just observing. Let's see. Okay.
you're buying more.
Mm,
Oh,
I believe before I even trade the Apple pair, I would love to give it about a month of back testing. Yeah. See what really moves the market. A whole lot of research is on that. Or is Friday just gonna do the whole consolidation thing? Okay. Or just maybe. Just maybe. Right. It's awkwardly very quiet. I don't seem to like that. This level of quiet always happens, possibly in the movies, right? It always happens when something bad is about to happen.
uh, I'm keeping my gunpowder to my chest. I ain't messing with this.
That bullet's coming from you then.
Nah, sorry, bro. You ain't gonna see it today. Not yet. Cause All the things I'm saying doesn't really make sense to me at the moment.
Okay, I knew it. Just a scalp today.
You scalped?
No, no, I said I'm not scalping.
Okay.
I'm just looking at the scalps.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
This
mean,
this
those
one,
that held 930 longs, if they
not,
bought.
not even the 9:30, the 10.
Oh, okay, the 10 that
What
just
10
went
o'clock did was 10 o'clock retraced into the fair value gap on 9:42,
Oh, okay.
and then it's heading for the highs, and it's heading for the 9:54 highs,
Oh, I
and
wish
that's
you all the
that's
best.
above like 20 points. Yeah,
I do wish you all the best. I know I'm not interested.
that's for those that want to join the scalps. It's good. I knew that there was gonna be an entry, but I'm not particular about it today.
What would you say if I'm still looking for sauce?
I would say you're not wrong. No, I would say you're not wrong. You're not right.
You mean though? I never look at her for SMT. Never. I don't like her. Yeah, I do get. I don't just. Just a moment, please. I forgot to switch to my 15 minutes time frame. Okay.
Well, maybe, just maybe. If it's supposed to sell, what do you want to see?
Just chill. Just in case I switch to buys. Chill. Just give me a moment.
Mm.
We already have that closure with it. Where are these 10 a.m. just to buy?
I know that this is heading for his eyes. Possibly his eyes as well. Maybe I would have engaged it on a paper trade. You know, I'm thinking of Think Markets and the broker. Yeah, because you can trade it with your trading view.